Additional security during the IPL, a direct fallout of the terror attack on Sri Lankan cricketers in Lahore.
Now, ICC match referee Chris Broad came out very angrily. He said there was no security and that the cops, the police, had actually deserted the team when the terrorists struck.
And that statement was corroborated by what Sri Lankan player Muralitharan told our sister network IBN7 today.
As she walked down to the airport with her husband, miraculously alive, she could not hold her joy.
Is it nice to see him again?
Right.
While the Australian team hasn't toured Pakistan since 1998, umpires from down under have no such luxury. Toffel, as well as Steve Davis, had no choice as ICC employees to make their trip, but could have paid the price of doing that with their lives.
We were isolated, we were left alone. We were unaccounted for. We were not given the same security and the same attention as the playing staff were.
We were let down. We had all sorts of assurances before, and I'm sure the team feels that way too. They had some assurances. And despite all that, this was still able to happen, and we were put in a very vulnerable position.
And even as they pray for their Pakistani colleague Ehsan Raza, who continues to fight with death in a Lahore hospital, their dismay, anger, sadness, shock and trauma refuse to die down.
Not a sign of a policeman anywhere. They had clearly left the scene and left us to be sitting ducks.
Broad clearly not holding his punches, but instead of sympathy or apology, all the PCB was willing to offer was this shocker.
Formal protest. मैं ICC से भी लॉन्च कर रहा हूँ कि ये स्टेटमेंट जो इन्होंने दी है, there is एक single buck उसमें truth नहीं, तो सारी गलत statement.
Clearly, as all of them, the umpires as well as the Sri Lankan players hold their families tight, it is no longer debatable whether they would ever swap the pleasure of representing the country and the money involved for their lives. Cricket undoubtedly has changed forever. Himanshu Singhal, CNN, IBN.
We are lucky to be survived in that because it's an ambush. Because nobody to, so only the driver is only the person who saved us. Any of the roads, we thought the security will be there with the guns and people because they were because I saw some footages from the TV and they happily moving around and shooting us at us and just left because nobody was caught. So that means 5 to 10 kilometers there was no security at all roundabout. And other thing is the security would have been not many experience they had because they were not the experts. Because the experts would have somehow managed to pull through because these are, I think, normal police who went on training and came and gave the guns and escorted us.
Real sense of betrayal coming through there and all those voices. Meanwhile, details are now coming through of those attacks in Lahore, the clues, and some of those detained are putting out more and more leads for the police.
And what has also now become evident is that basic security procedures were clearly not followed, important aspects of that being overlooked. The errors are just so shocking. Aditya Mehta reports.
3rd March 2009. A day not many Pakistanis will forget, and certainly not these people. But could this tragedy have been avoided? Details emerging out of Lahore already suggest that the incident could have been averted if only basic security procedures had been followed. For example, there are 2 routes which the Sri Lankan team could have taken to reach the stadium from their hotel. This route, shorter, safer, faster.
ये प्रेफर्ड रूट था, ये ज़्यादा हमें क्लियर अच्छा मिलता है और उसमें हमें ज़्यादा बेहतर तरीके से ट्रैफिक को कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है.
But for some reason, a second route was taken by the convoy, the route to death, involving multiple roads, 3 chalks and 2 back-to-back roundabouts. Not only was the journey longer, the roads were narrower and the roundabouts made speeds fall to below 50 kilometers per hour. Unacceptable for a VIP's convoy, which should have moved at least 90 kilometers per hour.
जैसे ही हम रोड बाउंड में पहुंचे हैं, उधर हमारी स्पीड 40 से 50 आ गई. अचानक बिल्कुल ला मुहाला उन्होंने जो है ना फायरिंग शुरू कर दी.
There were other problems too. Security measures required the route to be changed. But on all 4 days, the convoy stuck to the same bad plan. Investigative agencies too had warned the Punjab government on January 22nd of a possible attack on the Sri Lankans.
हम एक पॉइंट को स्टडी कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ जो इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट काउंसिल के रिक्वायरमेंट के मुताबिक क्या होना चाहिए था और क्या.
Last-minute security changes took place because of governor's rule. As late as Sunday, the SP personnel in Lahore were replaced by the IG, whose officer in charge went on 5 days leave. Had some of the basic procedures been followed, things may have been a little different on March 3rd, 2009. Cricket may have actually been played. With Mia Abir in Lahore, in New Delhi, Aditya Mehta.
All those questions that Mr. Mushtaq Sukhera, DIG Lahore, may be in a position to answer. He's joining us now. Mr. Sukhera, 48 hours now after the attacks, what is the status of your investigation?
We have examined the crime scene thoroughly and very minutely. All the relevant experts have also analyzed the evidence available, and we are working on different leads, and we have interrogated many suspects. Hopefully we will be able to work this case.
All right, Mr. Sukhera, you are hopeful that the culprits will be found, but really it is the security that is under fire. We're hearing from so many of the players, we're hearing from all the umpires saying the security just wasn't enough. Would you accept really that there was a huge security lapse there?
Absolutely is wrong. His van was driven by a security man. You should remember when his driver died, it was a security man who driven his van and took it to the stadium. How you can say that the police officers ran away from the scene? The police officers laid down their lives and saved the lives of our guest team. And they fought very bravely, and it was appreciated by everybody.
But the footage, Mr. Sukhera, we've seen of the attack, the CCTV footage as well that has been released yesterday clearly shows deserted streets. There were just no police personnel out there. How can you then claim to have protected these cricketers?
In fact, if you are in knowledge of the topography of that area, the stadium was on the right side and they escaped from the left side. All the police deployment was on the right side where the match was taking place. And they in fact escaped from the left side, from the narrow and back lanes, and they already was placing their vehicles over there, and they abandoned their arms, ammunition and their jackets, and they traveled like ordinary citizens in ordinary clothes. How they managed it? They were very well trained, they planned it.
Right, well, we do have to leave it over there, Mr. Mushtaq Sukhera, the DIG of the investigations there. Clearly, maybe you should have thought about that security on the right side as well as the left side, that Liberty Chalk, where the terrorists were able to get away from Lahore.
Right, away from cricket and all the controversy.